Good morning, girls and boys. We're going to continue working with the reported speech, but this time we're going to work with reported questions. Let me share my screen so we can learn about this. Okay, pay attention on this. We're going to work with something called reported questions. How are we going to report? In last class, we learned how to report statements, how to report commands, and how to report requests. Okay, commands and requests are very easy. We just use the infinitive. When we report statements or thoughts, we have to go one tense back, remember? We have to change the pronouns, we have to change the time expressions, and we have to make some different changes. Now, we're gonna learn how to report questions. Okay, let's start. We have to say that the word order in the question is very different in the reported speech. Why? Why can we say so? When we report the questions, there is no inversion. Remember, when we make a question, we say, is he? So we made inversion because it's he is, so we made inversion is he. Or does she? So we made inversion. So in this case, we won't have any inversion. And also, we are not going to use do, does, did. No auxiliary is used. Let's see an example. When did you arrive? Which tense is this? The question is with did, so it's past simple, correcto? All right. So how can we report? There's no inversion, remember? And no auxiliary. So if we don't have auxiliary, what happens with the verb? The verb goes to its time. Listen, look. He asked me when I had arrived. Remember, past simple goes to past perfect. But notice there is no inversion here. It's not a question. When had you arrived? No, not like that. No question mark. This is very important. So there is no inversion, no question mark, and it is like if it is a statement. But the reporting word is asked. So we say, he asked me when I had arrived. You want to see another example? Look at this. Where's Tom? Present simple. So notice, we can also use once in the present, so there is no one tense back. Remember, when you are using the verb in the present simple, like once, with the reporting verb, we don't have to go one tense back. So we say, where she wants to know where Tom is, okay? Because it says once here. If he wanted to know, so we go one tense back, all right? But the important thing is that we have no inversion, no question mark, and we don't say, where is Tom? Like a normal question. We say, where Tom is, because we have, she wants to know. Is that clear? All right, it's not difficult. This is very easy when we have a question word like where, when, why. But what happens if we don't? We say number 2. It says, if there is no question word like what, where, and why, we use if or whether. But whether is very formal. It's used for all people. So we better use if. Okay, but you can choose whatever you want to use. If you want to sound fancy, so you can say whether. All right, let's see how we can do this. Can I borrow a pen? If you notice, we don't have when, why, and where, no question word. So how can we do that? Look, he asked if, or he asked whether he could borrow a pen. Can goes back to could. And can I borrow? So we unswitch it and we say he could. All right, so we have to unswitch it. Very good. Then the rules are the same for the reported question as thoughts. So what we are thinking, or if they are questions, so we can use the word whether. It says here, I wonder where she had gone. Okay, or I didn't know if he spoke Russian. All right, so we have to go one tense back. All right, this is something very, very simple. We can check some other ideas. Let me just change the slides here, and we can see another thing. Let me see here. I'm gonna report, you're gonna see this explanation, so we can check this explanation. It says here, grammar explanation. A reported question is when we tell someone what another person asked. To do this, we can use the direct speech or the indirect speech. The direct speech, we say here, do you like working in sales? He asked. So we use the he asked at the end. But in the indirect speech, that's what we are learning. We say, he asked me if I liked working in sales. Notice how this is present, so we have to change to past. If I liked, no question mark, and the reporting verb is ask. Okay? We also, notice here, we also often make changes to tenses and other words in similar ways as reported statements. For example, present simple goes to past simple, present perfect goes to past perfect, will goes to would, can goes to good. So I think this is clear for you. All right. Now notice here, when we have yes no questions, it says we use if or whether, but it says here if is more common. So that's what we have to do. For example, are you going to Helsinki conference? He asked me if I was going, or since this is if, you can also use where. Remember that. Have you finished the project yet? He asked me if we had finished the project yet. When we have a question word, we use the question word as the linking word, and we say, what time does the train leave? He asked me what time the train left. This is does, present. We reported in past. So I think this is clear for you. I'm gonna send you some exercises after you watch this video. So these exercises are gonna help you to understand it a little bit better. Thank you very much, guys.